This dating life is so hard. Why is it so difficult? If all the good women and all the good men are so sick of dating, why aren't we able to find each other? Please tell me.
How to date in your 30s. This is where a lot of females begin to really look at the dating pool in a new perspective, as their reality and experience is different.
What do you mean you're 32 and you want intimacy without commitment?
This is what I'm talking about when I say that men have turned the current dating culture into unpaid sex work for women. Because what do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean you want intimacy without relationship at 32 years old? It used to be back in yesterday that men who wanted to have sex, because that's what that means, right? We all know, we're not dumb here. It used to be back in, yesteryear that men who wanted intimacy without relationship had to pay for it. You had to go find a prostitute. Okay, you had to pay for it. But because men have co-opted modern day women's sexual liberation, they've co-opted it and they've turned it into what's beneficial for them, which is essentially making women in the dating world unpaid prostitutes. And that is why I will never, ever, ever hear nothing about men saying that, oh, women just use men to get, paid to pay for dinner or whatever the fuck they say. They're dumb. It goes in one ear and out the other. You know what I mean? That's why I never listen to them.
The whole point is men in their 30s are not taking them serious. Even if they feel empowered and liberated and are promiscuous, they still expect some type of commitment from men. But how can you?
People have said it, women age like milk, men age like fine wine. I've heard it 1,000 times, right? For me personally, I'm gonna say this. Maybe I am cooked, but you know what? I'm cooked and it tastes delicious because I was not given what it needed to give when I was in my 20s. I didn't know my body. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know how to fuck. I didn't know how to suck. I didn't know how to throw it back. Now I could do all of those things plus more.
Quick reminder to subscribe, support the channel to 50k, and let's get straight back to it. This is what a lot of women in their 30s exclude: their experiences, their baggages, and the burden that a lot of men don't really want to have to deal with the older that they're getting. But it leaves them in a funny place.
I think the reason it's so hard to date when you're in your late 30s, 40s, and 50s and so on is because by the time you meet someone at our age and they have maybe communication issues, trust issues, attitude problems, bad spending habits, you already know that if they have not fixed that by our age, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to. Because when you get old, you're set in your ways. Especially if you've been single for a long time and no one has been there to hold you accountable or to teach you anything different or to require anything different of you, you ain't changing. And there's no amount of convincing, especially a woman convincing a man to change certain things.
Tidbits and facts you're probably lying about. Yeah, I just feel like society has just taken a turn. Social media, although it's a blessing in a lot of ways, I feel like it's a curse because everybody is so accessible and nobody's willing to commit to one person or work on anything or kind of like fight through anything because, I'll just move on to the next one.
I want a romantic type of love. I want the type of love that even through hard times, we know who we belong to. I want a type of love that can nobody shake or break. I want the type of love where I can talk to you about anything because you're more than just my lover. You're my best friend. I want a deep, soulful type of love. An unbreakable type of love. A forever type of love.
Let's talk about online dating for a second. I'm seeing too many let's just vibe in the bios. I'm looking for a vibe, nice little vibe. Let's vibe and see where it goes. Sir, you are 37 going on 40. You are too old to vibe. What? You're too old to vibe if you don't sit your ass down here with me and do this puzzle. If you don't do this Sudoku, mean vibe? We're grown. You vibe in your 20s. In your 30s, you start establishing. Vibe my ass.
So you know what's the worst part of dating when you're 31 is that either all the good ones are married, happy for you guys, but then you have this pool of guys that's either gay.
I swear people make dating so much harder than it needs to be because it really is fucking simple. It's fucking simple. The question is, do you or do you not want to use each other as an excuse to get out of going to social gatherings that you no longer want to attend? We can do that for the rest of our lives. That sounds like a win to me. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a fucking win to me. And then we stay home together. We rub our feet together in bed. We put on all of our favorite movies. I made snacks because I like to bake. I made cookies. Again, I'm not seeing how there's a loser in our situation here.
30s is a whole nother ball game. Like red flags in my 20s were completely ignored. Let's be for real. Boundaries, now me in my 30s, me and boundaries go together real bad. Like I didn't have no boundaries in my 20s. Nope. I had the people's son playing with me. My 30s now, if the energy's off, I'm out. No, baby. We ain't doing that.
He's in the 30s. Come in. Hurry up, quickly. Sit down. Let's talk about it. Dating in your 30s is kind of like a shocking experience. I don't know about y'all, but like I never saw myself here, right? I never thought I would be here. In fact, when I went to college 10 plus years ago, I made up in my mind. I was like, I'm leaving here with a degree in a minute. I'm leaving here with something like a whole new bachelor with degrees. I'm leaving here with my husband. And in fact, I did freshman year meet what I thought was my husband, and it didn't work out after 10 plus years. But nonetheless, I'm just thinking right now, like, I never saw myself dating in my 30s. And this, every time I get dressed for a date, I'm shocked. Utter disbelief. Like, is this my wife? Hey, how are you? What's your favorite color?
What? 32 and you want intimacy without commitment. You want a short-term relationship. Sir, you might die tomorrow. You don't have time to be requiring this from me. What is wrong?
A lot of females, when they hit 30, they still think that they should be valued or feel as if they're valuable in a dating market because they can make themselves look good and they feel good. But that's beyond actually what's happening, because men in their 30s are still not taking them serious, especially when you have had a decade of experiences that got you nowhere, especially when you have already given yourself to men that rejected you multiple times as they didn't marry you. So what does that actually tell men about you? That you was never valuable to any of the men that you chose to be in a relationship with or encountered, and you never valued yourself enough to even put marriage first. So why should they do that for you in the ending of your prime years, or ultimately when your prime years is ended? Is not actually something anyone is going to really be looking forward to when they're just picking up the slack that you didn't pick up in your prime years. So all of these red flags, and I'm growing and I'm starting to realize I never knew how to date, that's a you problem that men don't have to deal with and don't want to.